Bobby Ray here, and this is my walkthrough of my 2010 Wilderness Systems Commander 120. I'm going to tell you what I've done to set this kayak up for my 2016 fishing season, some changes I've made, and some of the things that I have on my boat for my kayak fishing. Woke up and just felt right. Phone blown like a tailpipe. Today's schedule. I'm running a Humminbird unit on the Ram mounts adjustable track mount, which is fantastic. I'm running a GoPro mount on the opposite track and the Ram level cup holder behind the GoPro. All these things are pretty much in front of my feet and out of the way up in the front of the boat. One new thing that I've done is I've cleared out all this space down here by tucking the wires on my depth finder and running them all across the front of the boat and underneath this lip with zip ties. As far as my battery box goes, this is a complete homebrew solution. It's a Walmart dry box with 12 AA's in a series circuit. It's a little bit ghetto, but it does the job for me, and it's really easy to change out and actually lasts longer than I ever thought it would. I've gone an entire month and not changed the batteries. So that's pretty fantastic. After tucking these wires, it's opened up a lot of space in the front of the boat for a 20-liter dry bag. That's a personal preference thing. I think this is a good size. It can carry minimum knickknacks up to a full set of rain gear and an extra layer and a lunchbox. That's what works for me on the front of the boat. Moving to the back of the boat, this milk crate setup is brand new for me. I'm just now trying it for the first time, and I'm pretty pleased with the way it came together. I will gladly answer any questions about the milk crate build in the comments. Total cost of $26, including the crate, PVC, and all hardware. Took me about an hour to put together, and it's absolutely solid. Holds 6 rods. Right now I usually run a 5-rod setup on the kayak. This 6th one here is a plug knocker. For those of you who don't know what this is, if you end up snagging a super expensive bait like this one, you can send this plug knocker down your line and this 2-ounce, 3-ounce egg sinker, bang it against the bait and knock it off of whatever brush pile you're hung up on or whatever you're snagged on. I've actually used it on a drop shot successfully, and I also have some footage of that if anybody would like to see that. Back here I run a pretty simple but still ever complicated tackle setup. Let's keep it short and sweet. Bring 10 pounds of soft plastics with me in the kayak in the interest of weight, because I'm pushing the weight limit on this boat already. I've got 2 marker buoys, T-Rain retractable gear leash with a set of pliers. On the opposite side, fish grips with paracord. I like to put a fish on the grips and throw them overboard while I set up the camera. And set up whatever photos I need to take of that fish. Or in the interest of the tournament, I'll throw the fish in the water while I'm getting my hog trough set up. Back here I have my VisiCarbon Pro flag with LED safety light and reflective strip. It looks really cool, and you don't think it comes in handy until you're on the water at 5 o'clock in the morning and you have boats flying all around you, and all of a sudden things get really sketchy and you throw on that light and then everybody can see you. Dry box back here attached to a pad eye. I've got digital scale and extra batteries for the depth finder and the VisiCarbon. My most significant change from 2015 to 2016 has been the way my rod holders are. Obviously, adding this milk crate has opened up a world of possibilities. I have 6 more rod holders now on my boat than I did before. I previously would run 4 or 6, the first 2 being these flush mounts, and then I would put 2 or 4 Ram 2007 rod holders on these 8-inch tracks right here. That became a pretty cumbersome setup to run because things would get tangled, and some rods have longer handles on them than others, and so I would have to put each rod in a specific rod holder every single time. Now that I have this setup, it doesn't matter how long the handle is, I can just throw them in there and not have to worry about it. And I actually just ended up using the flush mounts for pliers and fish grips anyways. And I also left the tracks for the accessory leash, and then maybe someday I'll put something on that one. There's no sense in removing it. It doesn't add any weight to the boat. But that was the most significant change, is I did away with the Ram 2007s. I'll still keep these around because they are awesome little rod holders, and I'll throw them on my other kayak. Or maybe if I really need to have a rod up front with me, I can put them on the front tracks. It's just a good thing to keep in the truck. You can never go wrong with these. But for this year, I'm going to try the upright rods. Details about this milk crate that I put together. This hardware is all stainless steel, and these tie downs for the PVC is galvanized. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to rust or not. I don't really care because aesthetically it doesn't matter, and these rod holders aren't meant to sustain the weight of a fish. They're passive. They're meant for just holding the rod in the when I need to store it, so I'm not entirely worried about that, whether it's going to rust or not. I struggled with tying this milk crate into the kayak because I wanted something that was semi-permanent but didn't look like crap. I played around with an entire roll of paracord until I found these 2 rubber bungees in an old tote, and they actually hold the milk crate in there pretty well without cranking on it, and they're easily removable. They're tighty. They don't offer anything to really get snagged on if I happen to toss a crankbait back there, because paracord can be a nightmare if you get it snagged on baits. And so I think I'm going to stick with this for a little while until something better comes along. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video about my Commander 120. I hope that maybe you got some good ideas from it. If you have any questions about this boat or anything on it, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'd be happy to answer to the best of my ability. I've really enjoyed having this boat, and the next step for me will be a Commander 140, but for now I'm looking forward to a big 2016 season in this boat. We'll try to put a few giants in here down in Central Virginia and elsewhere. Thanks again for watching. Happy New Year. Tight lines.